reward the loudest voice. It rewards the sharpest mind. And in a time when most people scroll themselves into stupidity, the few who educate themselves daily become dangerous. You weren't born with a weak mind. You were trained to ignore it. You were taught to consume, to conform, to chase approval. But not anymore. You've found modern Stoicism, a place where discipline beats distraction, where wisdom defeats weakness, and where your mind becomes your weapon. This is your daily war room for training thought, sharpening perception, and becoming mentally untouchable. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button. Tap the notification bell, because this is not motivational fluff. This is training for your highest self. And if you're committed to turning your mind into a weapon, comment this right now. I sharpen my mind daily. My thoughts are my power. Now, let's begin. Section 1. You're at war, but it's invisible. You wake up and check your phone before you even drink water, before you even stretch your body, before you breathe consciously. You've already lost the first battle of the day. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. You're at war. Not a war with tanks or missiles. Not a war you can hear or see. This is a silent war. And it's happening inside your head. Every second, every scroll, every subconscious decision. It's a war for your mind. And most people, they've already surrendered. The enemy is distraction. The weapon is deception. And the battlefield is attention. Every time you pick up your phone without thinking. Every time you choose noise over knowledge. Every time you numb yourself with entertainment instead of sharpening your intellect, you're handing over your most powerful asset, your mind. See, the Stoics believed that your mind, your reason, your clarity, is sacred. Marcus Aurelius didn't write meditations to impress anyone. He wrote it to remind himself daily that the world is chaos, but the mind must remain still. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That was not just philosophy, it was survival. But today, most people don't survive the war. They get crushed by comparison, by consumerism, by convenience. It's not that they're stupid, it's that they were never taught to train their minds. They were taught to obey, to follow trends, to chase pleasure. And now they live in quiet desperation, addicted to speed and stimulation. But you are different. You found this video. You made it this far, which means a part of you knows your mind is a weapon, and you must learn to use it, or the world will use it for you. The first step, awareness. The second, education. Daily, relentlessly, intentionally, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. This is not motivation. This is mental armor. This is how you build psychological resilience in a world that wants to keep you weak. If you're committed to escaping the trap, prove it in the comments right now. I sharpen my mind daily. My thoughts are my power. Say it like a mantra. Type it like a code. Live it like your life depends on it, because it does. And that brings us to the next uncomfortable truth. Most people don't lose the war because they're outmatched. They lose because they never showed up to fight. In Section 2, we'll break down what the real battlefield looks like, and how to reclaim your power when you realize the enemy isn't out there. It's your own untrained mind. Stay locked in, subscribe, and let's sharpen your weapon. Section 2. Your mind is a battlefield, and most people surrender. If you could watch your mind from above, like a battlefield, you'd see something chilling. On one side, there's potential, purpose, power. On the other side, noise, fear, and false comfort. And in the middle, you. Every thought is a move. Every distraction is a trap. Every moment of clarity is a strike. But here's the sad reality. Most people never even pick up a weapon. They don't study their thoughts. They don't question their habits. They don't even realize they're being attacked, because it's not loud, it's not violent, it's invisible. The attacks look like comfort, like pleasure, like acceptance. The algorithm tells you what to think. The influencer tells you how to feel. The crowd tells you what's normal. And before you know it, your mind has been colonized, not with force, but with compliance. The Stoics would call this slavery, not physical slavery, mental slavery. It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable. Seneca, but unconquered minds are rare, because being mentally strong is not natural, it must be trained. When you avoid reflection, you surrender. When you silence your inner voice for external noise, you surrender. When you seek comfort instead of challenge, you surrender. Now here's the twist, and it's dark psychology at its finest. The system doesn't need to fight you if it can seduce you. Distraction is more efficient than destruction. Why bomb your mind when it can be bought? Entertainment dulls it. Social media hijacks it. Advertising reprograms it, all while you smile, laugh, and scroll. You think you're in control, you're not. Unless you reclaim your mind, every day, you become a soldier for someone else's mission. And that's where education comes in. Not schooling, not memorization. We're talking deliberate, Stoic education. Study principles, not noise. Question emotion before action. Sharpen judgment with philosophy and psychology, tools the world won't hand you. Because education, in this context, isn't about degrees. It's about defense. It's about domination. It's how you win the war no one else sees. But here's the thing, the battle never ends. Each day you wake up, you face another mental war, and your only weapons are what you've taught yourself, what you've trained yourself to believe, what you've chosen to internalize. Most people arm themselves with trends. You arm yourself with truth. If this hits deep, pause and comment now. I don't scroll mindlessly, I sharpen my focus. Let the algorithm know. Let your future self know. Let your enemies know. Because from this point forward, you're not here to survive. You're here to dominate. You're no longer handing over your peace to popularity. You're not trading purpose for passive consumption. You're learning to think for yourself, to protect your clarity, and to choose power over programming. That's the mindset of the modern Stoic. And in Section 3, we'll break down the specific principles the Stoics used, and how you can apply them in daily training to win this war long term. Stay alert, stay intentional, and remember, your thoughts are either training you or betraying you. Section 3. Why education is the ultimate advantage. Stoic and psychological insight. Education isn't just power. It's defense, it's offense. It's the only real edge you have in a distracted world. Let's be clear, we're not talking about college degrees or academic trophies. We're talking about self-education, the relentless sharpening of your mind every single day. Marcus Aurelius didn't have a classroom. He had a battlefield and a journal, and yet he remains one of the wisest men in history. Why? Because he made it a practice to confront his mind, to observe it, to discipline it, to improve it daily. That's the Stoic path. And it's also the psychological hack very few talk about. In a world built to distract you, those who educate themselves daily develop unfair psychological leverage. Let's go deeper. Dark psychology teaches us something dangerous. People are easy to control when they stop thinking for themselves. And when you stop feeding your mind, you don't just stay the same. You regress. You become vulnerable to manipulation. You react instead of reflect. You become programmable. That's why most people fall for lies. They were never trained to detect them. But you have a choice. Every book you read, every mental model you study, every concept you challenge yourself with, That's one more piece of armor between you and manipulation. That's one more sharpened edge in your mental arsenal. Seneca said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." He didn't mean wait until you're ready. He meant every single day. Study your emotions, study your reactions, study the game. Because this world rewards clarity, and clarity is the result of deep education, not surface level, not viral quotes, but deep, disciplined personal exploration. And the truth is, it doesn't take hours a day. It takes intention. Read one page with focus. Think one clear thought. Challenge one belief. And if you do that consistently, you will outpace 99% of people stuck in mental survival mode, because the mind, when educated with precision, becomes bulletproof. Now let's pause. If you're serious about mastering this level of control, drop this in the comments now. I feed my mind daily. My clarity is my edge. Say it out loud, feel it in your chest. This is not entertainment, it's transformation. Education is not optional anymore. Not if you want freedom, not if you want power, not if you want peace. So while the world numbs itself with nonsense, you rise. One book, one idea, one insight at a time. Because when the mind is trained, the world bends to your will, not the other way around. In section 4, we'll go into the darker side of this. How the world actually trains you to stay weak, and how to break that conditioning.
Section 4. The world trains you to stay weak. Break the conditioning. If you've ever wondered why people stay stuck, miserable, reactive, here's the truth. It's not an accident. It's by design. The world doesn't want you strong. It doesn't want you focused. It doesn't want you free. Why? Because a free mind can't be manipulated. A strong mind can't be sold nonsense. An educated mind becomes a threat. And so, you're trained from an early age to be obedient, not powerful. You're rewarded for sitting still, for memorizing, not thinking, for blending in, not standing out. By the time you're an adult, you don't even question your habits, because they were programmed into you. You scroll because it's normal. You binge because it's relaxing. You keep quiet because you don't want to cause conflict. Let's be clear, that is not life. That is conditioning. This is where dark psychology kicks in. Manipulators don't need to chain your body. They just need to program your brain. And the best way to do that? Overstimulate you, overwhelm you, keep you tired, distracted, and numb. A nation of sheep will beget a government of wolves. Edward R. Murrow. Replace nation with mind, and the idea still holds. A mind that blindly follows will always be controlled. Now, the Stoics knew this long before algorithms existed. Epictetus said, "Only the educated are free." Not educated in facts, educated in awareness. He meant people who notice their impulses, who question their emotions, who discipline their desires. People who ask, is this thought mine or was it given to me? Is this fear real or has it been planted? Is this choice helping me grow or just keeping me comfortable? This kind of mental clarity is rare, but it's what separates leaders from followers, builders from consumers, warriors from victims. So how do you start breaking the conditioning? By choosing awareness over autopilot, by studying instead of scrolling, by building mental discipline, one choice at a time. Every time you educate yourself, you're reprogramming your mind for freedom. You're uninstalling the noise. You're deconstructing the lies. You're training your thoughts to serve you, not sabotage you. And that's why most people can't relate. They're still stuck in the loop, still seeking comfort in cages. But you're waking up. So pause and make a declaration in the comments. I break the program. I build myself daily. Let that phrase sink in. You're not here for passive motivation. You're here for mental transformation. And in section 5, we'll dig into how Stoics built daily practices to reinforce mental strength so you never fall back into the system's trap again. Stay sharp, stay aware, stay free. Section 5, Daily Training. How the Stoics forged unshakable minds. You don't become mentally unshakable by accident. You build it day by day, moment by moment, like a warrior sharpens his blade, and the Stoic sharpens his mind. This wasn't a one-time event for them. It was a daily ritual, a way of life. The truth is, the modern world has forgotten the art of mental training. People train their bodies at the gym. They train their pets with discipline, but their minds, completely undisciplined. No direction, no strategy, no resilience. The Stoics knew that if you don't train your mind, someone else will. And that's exactly what we're seeing now. People walking around, mentally fragile, emotionally reactive, and spiritually empty. So how did the Stoics do it? Let's break it down. 1. Morning reflection. Marcus Aurelius would start his day not with social media, but with self-checks. He would write in his journal to remind himself, the world is chaotic. People will disappoint. Your job is to stay steady. Each morning he prepared himself like a soldier, not for battle in armor, but battle in thought. You can do the same. Before you check your phone, check your mind. Ask yourself, what do I control today? What am I reacting to emotionally? How can I respond instead of react? 2. Voluntary discomfort. Seneca practiced going without on purpose. He'd eat plain food, wear rough clothes, sleep on the floor, not because he had to, but because he wanted to train his tolerance. Why? Because comfort makes you soft. And in a world full of soft minds, discomfort is your edge. Try this. Fast once a week. Wake up earlier than you want to. Do one thing daily that makes you uncomfortable, on purpose. 3. Evening audit. Every night, Stoics reviewed their behavior. What did I do well? Where did I slip? How will I improve? This is not guilt. This is growth. Reflection turns your mistakes into weapons. Seneca said, when the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, I examine my entire day. This is where real power is built, not in big moments, but in daily accountability. If you do just these 3 things every day, you'll be in the top 1% mentally. Reflect in the morning, embrace discomfort, audit your actions at night. And here's your empowering declaration today. I train my mind daily. I rise through discipline. Drop that in the comments now. Let the world know you're not asleep anymore. You're not a passive participant. You are the author of your own transformation. In Section 6, we'll explore how to turn your knowledge into results and why action is the final form of self-education. Subscribe to stay sharp. You're almost there. Section 6. Knowledge is nothing without action. Execute relentlessly. You've read the books. You've listened to the wisdom. You've studied the great minds. But let me be brutally honest, none of it matters. Unless you act. Knowledge is potential. Action is power. That's where most people fail. Not because they don't know what to do, but because they never develop the discipline to do it. They stay trapped in the comfort of preparation. They obsess over more information. They think, plan, analyze, and never execute. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Epictetus. The Stoics knew wisdom means nothing if it doesn't show up in your behavior. Dark psychology reveals another layer to this. The longer you delay action, the more your brain believes the lie that you're making progress, even when you're not. You feel good because you watched a video. You feel productive because you took notes. But feelings aren't results. Results require movement. Do one uncomfortable thing, have one difficult conversation, apply one insight in the real world. That's where transformation lives, in the fire of experience. Marcus Aurelius was an emperor, but he didn't retreat into theory. He led during plagues, wars, betrayals. He didn't just write Stoic ideas, he lived them. When your knowledge meets resistance and you still act, that's when your mind becomes a weapon. Because here's the thing, you don't need 1,000 more quotes. You don't need 10 more books. You need to ask, what will I do with what I know? So right now, think of something you've been putting off, a habit you keep saying you'll start, a fear you keep avoiding. Start small, but start today. Wake up earlier, turn your phone off for an hour, finish that chapter. Say no to something draining. Build that momentum, because education without execution is self-sabotage. It feels good, but builds nothing. Your mind is sharp. Now it's time to strike. Drop this in the comments if you're ready. I don't just learn, I act. I execute daily. And let that become your standard. Not perfection, not overthinking, just relentless, committed action. Because when you act with intention, you don't just absorb wisdom, you become it. And in the final section, section 7, we'll pull it all together and show you how to build a daily system that keeps you sharp, focused, and impossible to manipulate. So stay locked in. Like this video if it's hitting you deep. Subscribe if you're serious about mental strength. Turn on notifications because we're just getting started. This is modern Stoicism, where we don't just talk about philosophy, we weaponize it. Section 7. Build a daily system. Weaponize your mind for life. This is it. You've learned the power of education. You've seen how the world conditions you to stay weak. You've explored how the Stoics trained their minds daily. And you understand that knowledge is nothing without action. Now comes the most important part, making it a system. Why? Because discipline dies without structure, and power without consistency is an illusion. What separates the top 1% mentally? They don't rely on motivation. They build systems that make education automatic. So let's build yours. Step 1, morning mental prime. Start each day by feeding your mind before the world distracts you. Read 1 page of a great book. Journal 3 thoughts, 1 fear, 1 goal, 1 lesson. Ask, what do I control today? This doesn't take an hour, it takes 10 minutes. But the return is massive. Focus, awareness, and a clear target. Step 2, daily discomfort. Growth doesn't come from ease, it comes from challenge. Choose one thing that pushes you, something you resist, something that sharpens you. Cold shower, phone off, hard conversation. This is mental weightlifting, and just like muscles, your mind grows under tension. Step 3, midday, mind check. Most people lose the day halfway through. Don't. Pause and realign. Ask, am I acting with intention? Reflect, what have I avoided today? Adjust course if needed. This keeps you from drifting. Step 4, nightly audit. At the end of the day, close the loop. What did I learn today? What did I do well? Where can I grow tomorrow? This trains your mind to be self-aware and accountable. You're not just living, you're studying yourself. Step 5, weekly reset. Once a week, step back. Review your journal. Plan your next 7 days. Set 1 intention for your mental development. This makes your progress visible, and what's visible becomes sustainable. Now here's the secret. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be intentional. Show up, stay sharp, stay consistent, and every day you'll get 1% stronger. Drop this in the comments if you're ready to live this system. I train daily. I sharpen relentlessly. I am the weapon. This isn't about motivation anymore. This is your standard. This is who you are now. So, like this video, if it hit you, comment below and join the tribe. Subscribe to Modern Stoicism if you're serious about weaponizing your mind. And hit that bell icon, because every video here is a tool, a weapon, a piece of your armor. This is not a trend. This is not a phase. This is your mental revolution. Stay sharp, stay aware, and remember, your mind trained daily becomes unstoppable. Modern Stoicism. Section 8. This is just the beginning. Mastery is a lifelong war. If you're still watching, then you already know this truth. The mind is not just a tool, it's a weapon. And every single day you either sharpen it or let it rust. Let this sink in. You will never arrive. You will never be finished. Because the game of self-mastery has no final level. What you're building is a mindset for life. Not just to feel good, not to impress people, but to protect your soul from corruption. Let's face it, the world is loud, manipulative, and full of traps. Every scroll is a distraction. Every news cycle is noise. Every idle comfort is a drug designed to dull your edge. And this is where the Stoic thrives. He does not run. He does not complain. He does not crumble. He stands still in the storm. because he's trained for it. You are training for that storm too, by educating yourself daily, by reflecting, resisting, and refining. Don't just consume these ideas, live them. Take 10 minutes every morning to journal. Say no to one thing that weakens you. Audit your emotions, your habits, your thoughts. Take action even when fear whispers in your ear. You don't need a perfect plan. You need daily proof that you are not asleep at the wheel. And if you ever feel behind, remember, most people haven't even started. They are ruled by impulse. Their lives are dictated by what's trending, not what's true. You are building sovereignty, and that makes you dangerous in the best way. So here's your final call to action. Drop this in the comments right now. I train for life. I evolve forever. My mind is my power. Write it, say it out loud, make it your daily mantra, and remember, you are not alone. This is a community of thinkers, doers, builders, and warriors. People who live by reason, discipline, and self-education. Subscribe to Modern Stoicism right now. Like this video to spread the message. Turn on the bell so you never miss a moment of mental training. Every week, we'll sharpen together, because this is not just philosophy. It's a system, a movement, a mental revolution. Your mind is your greatest asset and your ultimate weapon. So train it, guard it, and never stop evolving. Modern Stoicism.